Tesla. The electric car company wasn't the first to make an electric car, yet they are currently ranked number 1 in market cap ahead of all other car companies. Toyota comes in far second with half the market cap of Tesla. Tesla was started in 2003 and Toyota was started in 1937. So, what was the road like for Tesla to make their first dollar? To understand all this, we must go back to 1990, where GM introduced the first mass-produced electric vehicle, the EV1. The car went 75 miles with a single charge and was mostly available only for lease. But then, in 2003, when they realized how much money they were losing just trying to maintain these cars, they scrapped all the EV1s that were ever made. The damage? Nearly $1 billion in losses for GM. It's okay though, because from 1990 to 2003, GM was making a fortune selling their gas-fueled cars and were very profitable doing so. Now, let's jump to 2003. A man named Martin Eberhard is looking to purchase a sports car. After looking at the miles per gallon and the high cost of oil from wars in the Middle East, Martin knew he wanted an electric sports car. Just as he was looking to purchase the EV1, he reads that GM had discontinued the car. Martin then went on to search if any other car company was making electric cars and found a small car company named AC Propulsion. AC Propulsion at the time had made 3 little handmade-ish sports cars. Martin was interested and contacted the company. While talking to the company, he finds out that they're going out of business because the majority of their income came from doing side jobs for other car companies. Martin hears this and decides he'll invest his own money into the company to try to have them build him a personal sports car. When the car was built, it worked. The only problem was it had a very short battery life. The battery was made out of lead acid, which, back then, was very commonly used for batteries. Martin then had this idea of trying to use lithium batteries instead of lead acids. The way he gets the ideas from his last company, Navo Media, that built an early ebook reader. He founded the company with his good friend Marc Tarpenning. In the early days, they used lead-acid batteries, then later switched to lithium batteries in their ebook reader and found much better results with much longer battery life. Martin and Marc talk about the idea of building a lithium battery pack for an electric car. Martin financed more money to AC Propulsion to have them move the car from lead-acid to a lithium battery pack, and the proof of concept worked, although there were many limitations to the car. After having a battery concept, Martin and Marc, 2 Silicon Valley tech guys, have an idea to start an electric car company. The problem though? You can't start a car company without building the actual car to put the battery in. Martin and Marc needed a nice body and parts for their car idea. They contact a British automotive company called Lotus to try to partner with them to have them outsource all the parts that are needed to build a car. Lotus writes them a letter saying, "If you can do what you say, show us a plan, and get funding, we will consider being your partners." On July 1st, 2003, Tesla Motors was incorporated. It's now 2004, and Martin and Marc are having trouble finding investors to fund their startup. They invest a little of their money and family's money, but can't find any real big investors. Everyone they talk to says no, and that it's too crazy of an idea. The men soon hear a name that might consider investing, a man by the name of Elon Musk. Martin and Marc met Elon once before at a space exploration event where Musk gave a speech, and the men had a brief conversation about space. After Musk heard the idea from Martin and Marc, he got the image right away. The plan to make electric vehicles sexy, and to make a bunch of them. In April of 2004, Elon Musk invested $6.36 million of Tesla's initial $6.5 million Series A funding while becoming chairman of the board. One of the main challenges Tesla faced early on was making the battery. They realized taking 7,000 cells and putting them into one battery can cause an explosion, and nobody has ever tried putting that many cells into one battery. After many trials and errors, Martin and Marc came up with a revolutionary method of using cooling tubes that go through the battery to keep it cool and from exploding. Today, all battery management systems in every electric car are based on their work. It's now July 19th, 2006 in Santa Monica, California. It's Tesla's first unveiling of their all-new car, the Tesla Roadster. It's a fully electric sports car capable of going 0 to 60 in 4 seconds and in pure silence. It also can go over 200 miles in a single charge. It's the first time the public is going to actually see what Tesla has been talking about for the last couple of years, and they have only 100 spots for pre-orders. The unveiling was a success for CEO Martin Eberhard and the team. 20 people reserved the first day, and in 3 weeks, Tesla sells out their 100 pre-order sales of the Roadster with very minimal press. The cost to pre-order, $100,000. The list of 100 people who pre-ordered the car include actors like George Clooney, Leonardo DiCaprio, and the governor of California at the time, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Now that Tesla has sales for their cars, they have to make them. And the spotlight is on Eberhard. During the process, Musk complains to him about design failures he thinks he can be better, like switching the doors to be electric, along with other things. With the due date for the Roadster coming up and the changes making the cost price of the car go up, Eberhard is at his breaking point. But Musk doesn't care. The cost of the changes make the car cost jump from $49,000 to $83,000. Despite all this, Musk has a new car idea for the company, the Model S. It's now 2007, and Tesla is in survival mode because they're running out of cash. The Roadster price tag jumps to $149,000 compared to the original price of $100,000. Musk puts much of the blame on Eberhard and his inexperience as CEO. Then on August 8, 2007, Musk, along with other board members, demoted Eberhard and placed an intern as the new CEO. Eberhard becomes president of technology. Although still with the staff, he was moved off of almost every responsibility, except for things like troubleshooting. In December that year, Martin Eberhard leaves Tesla, and he's wounded and pissed off. February 2008, the first Tesla Roadsters went out, and the reviews were great. People are excited about the car, and orders come soaring in. How can anything go wrong? September of 2008, a recession hits all of America, and it hits hard. Americans struggle to keep up and pay their mortgage. The stock market crashes, and Tesla finds itself going underwater again. At this time, Musk officially becomes Tesla's new CEO and puts in another $20 million of his own money into Tesla, totaling his investment to $75 million. But it's just a band-aid for a young car company. Along this time, Musk used Roadster deposit money to work on the idea he hasn't forgotten about, the Tesla Model S. He figures if he can get pre-order money from the Model S, he can use that to save the company. Many team members questioned this tactic, but Musk lets them know we either do this or the company dies. In late October, Tesla is just down to $500,000 in the bank. They get a safety net from existing investors of $40 million to keep them alive for now. Then in January of 2009, another savior came to the help of Tesla. The automotive company, Dahmer AG, drops off $40 million to Tesla. Just 4 months later, they invested another $50 million into the company. By March of 2009, Tesla had their prototype of the Model S. Then in June of 2009, the United States Department of Energy gave out loans to car companies to help them start making environmentally friendly vehicles. Ford received $5.9 billion, Toyota received $1.6 billion, and Tesla $465 million. But the only way Tesla can get their loan is if they have a factory. Also, around this time, Martin Eberhard sues Tesla, part of the reason for taking away his $250,000 stock option for criticizing the company. The company is also experiencing supply chain issues, workforce problems, and they are working out of a tent outside SpaceX headquarters. Musk has to look for a factory in order to receive the $465 million loan, but the problem is a factory like that can cost over $1 billion. In February 2010, Musk was looking for a factory. He finds one 5 million square feet big and can produce up to 500,000 cars. The building was owned by partners GM and Toyota, and since at this time GM was filing for bankruptcy, the plant was for sale. Musk took a private tour of the building and absolutely fell in love with it. A factory of this size and the machinery in it will easily cost $1 billion, but Tesla only has $42 million. Musk sets up a meeting with the president of Toyota and tells him about Tesla's future and plans. Elon then tells the president that he only has $42 million to purchase it. The president thinks about it and decides he would rather sell the factory to Musk than shut it down, something they had never done before at Toyota. At this point, Tesla, the 7-year-old car company, has handmade 1,300 cars out of a tent. Now, they have a factory. It's now June 2010, and Tesla is ready to IPO. They are the first car company to IPO since Ford back in 1956. Nobody knows what to expect. Tesla is a relatively new car company started by Silicon Valley tech guys who have no experience with cars. Tesla also has $290 million in losses and only $150 million in revenue. Still, the IPO is a success. Toyota not only sold the factory to Musk for a steal, but they invested $50 million in common share stock. Shares opened at $17 and closed at $28 a share, evaluating the company at $2.2 billion. From the IPO, the company received $226 million in cash to help start mass-producing vehicles. Now that Musk is eyeing mass production, he needs a way to sell his cars. He handpicks a man by the name of George Blankenship to the vice president of sales and owner experience. Blankenship previously worked with Steve Jobs to help create Apple's unique in-store experience, and that's just what Musk is looking for. They plan on selling the cars directly to customers, but there's just one problem. The state of Texas, along with 17 other states, ban the practice of selling cars to consumers, and instead must be sold at dealerships. George Blankenship met with the Texas legislature to try to convince them to allow Tesla to sell directly to consumers in the store, but they shut him down. They let him know dealerships hold a lot of political power, and they don't want to see any go out of business for a small car company. Blankenship then asks if he can just open showroom stores to just give information to the consumer about the Tesla cars, and not sell them in store. The lawmakers don't see how that would infringe with the law and allow him to do so, and Blankenship runs with it. Blankenship then installs the concept showroom in a high-end mall. The concept store has employees that will show you the car, let you feel it out, and give you all the information you need about the car. When you're ready to order, you just leave your information down, and someone from the Tesla HQ will call you about your order. Customers are also able to pick things like color and other add-ons they would like on the car. The employees also work on no commission, so there's no sales pressure to purchase the car either. The concept is looking great for Tesla, and it's giving users a highly friendly experience. It's now 2011, and Peter Rawlinson, the head engineer at Tesla, is working long hours with the engineering team. Tesla desperately needs to start production on the Model S to meet the 2012 release date. They need more expensive machinery, but the funds are running low. The government funds and the investment money is just not enough for Tesla. Rawlinson is doing a good job working on the car, but Musk keeps demanding for time-consuming and expensive changes. In December, Musk gets a call from Rawlinson. Rawlinson is in England visiting his ill mother when he decides to call Musk and tell him he's not coming back. He tells him he can't meet Musk's demand, and that he's staying in England. Musk is pissed. He begs him to come back knowing the deadline for the car is weeks away. And to top it off, his marriage is not going well either just after 18 months. When news hits the media, Tesla's stock drops 20% just as the Model S was going into production. Timing couldn't have been worse for Musk. January 16, 2012, Musk holds a press conference assuring reporters that Tesla will deliver the cars by mid-July. The next day, his wife Tallulah Riley files for divorce. By February, Musk replaced Rawlinson, and the engineering team was back in action working around the clock, battling safety issues and Musk's never-ending design tweaks. By the end of July, they had exactly 10 Model S's assembled. By August, they have 50. By early October, the plant was making 100 cars weekly. It's an achievement, but miles away from the goal of making the 5,000 that were pre-sold by the end of the year. For Tesla, cash is running low. They only have $86 million in the bank, and bills are going unpaid. They projected their budget for the Model S to be selling at much faster pace. Musk, in the year, announces he's going to sell $6 million worth of stock. This prompts an article from the New York Times talking about Tesla's long list of problems, and if they are going to be able to pay back the government loan, and if they can't, taxpayers will have to. As 2013 begins, Tesla's CFO lets Elon know that he determined that the factory can produce 4,750 cars in the first 3 months. That will leave Tesla with a profit of $1. Musk accepts this because he knows he can still stay in business. His sale of his stocks are just enough for him to keep the lights on, and the assembly line is rolling. Meanwhile, Blankenship, the vice president of sales, has opened up 32 high-concept stores around the world with a dozen on deck. He's also pushing the team to overdrive, assuring order to delivery comes at top speed. The results of all this? In April of 2013, just 4 months in the year, with Musk tweets, word of mouth, and good media press, Model S sales soared to $329 million. The CFO prediction of $1 quickly turns into $11 million for the company. It's the first quarter in the company's decade-long history it's ever made a profit. If you liked this video, please comment, like, and subscribe for more interesting stories. Thank you.